Throughout history, there have been discoveries that have had tremendous impact on the lives of mankind. In many cases, these discoveries have only come along once in several lifetimes. What you're going to see today is one of those amazing discoveries that only come along every now and then. And the discovery that you will see today is going to have a tremendous impact on our lives. Hello, my name is James Spencer. I had an opportunity to become acquainted with Immunotec research and their amazing product, Immunocal, toward the end of 1998. In fact, the product actually helped reverse a serious illness in my mother-in-law. So I decided to get involved and help produce public awareness for this product, Immunocal. We invite your close attention. The information presented could very well change your life or the life of someone that you love. There are no actors in this presentation. The people that you will see have actually used Immunocal, and their experiences are real.
My wife started taking Immunocal. I was impressed with the results that she was having with Immunocal. So for my allergies, I decided to try it, and I was highly impressed with the results. This is the first time in 12 years I've been able to actually not be afraid of springtime and the flowers and the blooms and walking through the park and smelling the flowers.
I did notice that over the last couple of months that my wife, she got like some bad flus. And I really believe that my immune system was built up by taking the Immunocal so that I didn't get them when I probably normally, under normal circumstances, I would have gotten them.
Immunocal is a fantastic product. I'm really highly impressed with the results I've had with Immunocal. My friends have seen a difference in me. I've seen a difference in myself as well as my family.
And this marks a new era in the medical field in terms of using what might be termed as a nutraceutical in the treatment of clinical states.
Well, I took the product one time. The next day the pain in my feet was gone. And I'm expecting something miraculous with my immune system, but the pain in my feet was gone. So I definitely hats off to Immunocal.
I've been using Immunocal for a little over 3 years in my medical practice, and I can honestly say that I haven't had one patient that hasn't derived a benefit from its use.
At the start of the new millennium, mankind is still facing serious challenges to its survival. Due to the improper use of refrigerants over the past several decades, a hole in the ozone layer surrounding our planet has grown ever larger, allowing increasingly dangerous radiation levels to reach our planet. Misuse of Earth's resources has allowed a tremendous amount of damage to be done to the environment. Evidence of pollution and toxic waste can be found all over the world today. It affects air we breathe, the water we drink, and the food we eat. What effect are these changes having on our quality of life today? The World Health Organization has reported that over 30 new infectious diseases previously unknown have begun to appear around the world since 1976. These diseases have come seemingly from nowhere, and there has been little that science has been able to do against them. Even diseases that we thought were vanquished are now coming back with a vengeance. There is strong indication that our immune systems have been detrimentally affected by the change of environment over the past century. This may explain why in 1900 only 1 in 30 were affected by cancer, but at the beginning of the new millennium, 1 in 3 are affected by cancer. When the devastating Legionnaire's disease killed 34 people back in 1976, the CDC worked for over 6 months to isolate this tiny, cigar-shaped bacterium, which came to be known as Legionella pneumophila. However, the shocking truth uncovered is that this bacteria apparently has existed all along. What can we do to protect ourselves and our families and work toward ensuring a happy and healthy life in the future? The outstanding protective resource seen in humans and much of the animal world is a special molecule that helps to ensure survival and maintain strength of health in all of the young. Mother's milk. Long considered an unduplicatable resource, breast milk has now been scientifically shown to have tremendous protective properties. Studies show that nursing babies for even 90 days can reduce the chances of a child ever getting the degenerative disease cancer by over 500%. Over 20 years ago, one of the most famous Canadian medical researchers made an accidental discovery that eventually led him to produce a formulation similar to mother's milk. Dr. Gustavo Bunos was awarded the prestigious Medal of the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons of Canada at the young age of 36, and he was named Career Investigator for the Medical Research Council of Canada, which funded his research for over 3 decades. Dr. Bunos reflects on that momentous occasion back in 1978.
When I began my research study on the effect of whey protein concentrate in mice, that's the animal we were using for, I did not expect to stumble on the role of glutathione. What we did, in fact, we observed accidentally that mice eating this type of protein were able to mount a stronger immune response when challenged with bacteria, antigen, or cancer. But then later on we observed that these animals, in fact, were able to synthesize glutathione more effectively than the control animal. And then, of course, we had to find out what was the role of glutathione, and that we took advantage of the enormous and abundant data from the medical literature on the function of glutathione.
Glutathione was discovered in 1888 while study was being done on cataracts. But it would be nearly 100 years after its discovery that scientists would begin to realize the vast impact that glutathione has on the body. Many medical doctors are only now learning of the implications in medical treatment. Dr. Jimmy Gutman explains how he reacted when he began to understand the properties of this unique antioxidant.
I still remember the day that I found out about glutathione and associated research. There was a buddy of mine who came into my office and said, Dr. Gutman, called me Jimmy, I want you to look at this. This is something that has tremendous potential against the aging process, against certain kinds of cancer, against growing old like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, and I just viewed that with a little bit of skepticism. And his answer to me was by dropping 20 pounds of literature on my desk and turning around and saying, read this. And he managed to ruin the next 3 months of my life because I just could not get away from this literature. It spilled over into searches on the internet, me traveling down to the medical school library, canceling entire afternoons of clinic time just to read about this. And what I read was truly phenomenal. I was reading about research coming out of the best centers in North America, from well-recognized doctors, out of top respected medical journals, and I just could not believe what I was looking at.
After 12 years of laboratory trials and dozens of scientific papers published, fellow scientists began to request that Dr. Bunos make this nutritious and absolutely harmless protein powder available for human trials. Immediate benefits began to be seen in numerous studies.
Immunocal gave me my life back. For 4 years I was in a lot of pain because of fibromyalgia. And I felt like I had no life. I was in bed most of the time, and I was in so much pain, and I couldn't even go to work, or if I did, it was just a couple hours, and after that I had to spend the rest of the time in bed. And we happened to spend thousands of dollars, all kind of care, and nothing really seemed to work. And I felt like I didn't have a social life. Then a friend of mine told me about Immunocal, and then I didn't want to try it because I thought, oh no, a new product, more money to spend. And after that we said, well, why not try it? What do I have to lose? After only a week on Immunocal, I couldn't believe it. My pain subsided a lot. I felt so much better. And now every week I feel that I'm getting more strength, and I have less and less pain, and I have more energy. So it's really fantastic because I feel that I have my life back, and we have a social life now, and I can go back to work. and I don't spend all my time in bed.
Well, Immunocal has been a lifesaver. My wife was chronically ill in a lot of pain, and within just a few short weeks, the pain subsided. She was able to regain her strength and her health. I started taking the product myself. I couldn't believe how much better I felt. Stronger immune system, better toned muscles, my arthritis in my knee went away, and I feel much stronger and healthier. I think it's a wonderful product.
I started to use the product myself. I really love it. I will make sure the product's in my kitchen cabinet so my family can use it. And I recommend everyone will use the product to keep their health.
I started taking Immunocal a year and a half ago because at the age of 57, I had been troubled with a prostate problem, or what I was told was a prostate problem, for almost a decade. And this problem had diminished my ability to push urine out of my body to about 50% of what had been normal. I had taken other nutritional supplements that are supposed to deal with prostate health. None of them gave me any relief or created any significant change. After only 5 days on Immunocal, the problem disappeared totally and hasn't returned in a year and a half. After taking Immunocal for about a month, I woke up one morning and noticed that the aches and pains that I had been having for quite some time, which I attributed to simply getting older and which are related to arthritis in my neck and ankles, weren't there anymore. I haven't suffered from those aches and pains since that moment in time.
As a physician who's been in actual medical practice for just this side of 40 years, I've had many opportunities to observe metabolic problems manifested through the aging process of many of my patients. And Immunocal offers us a chance to reverse some of the ravages of time and actually see improvements that I have never witnessed before.
In the late 80s, Dr. Bunos met Dieter Beer, an Austrian-German businessman. Together they formed a scientific research company called Immunotec Research. Dieter financed the legal work required to obtain 6 North American patents for Immunocal. At first, Dr. Bunos began to make small quantities of Immunocal under close supervision right in Montreal. But ultimately, his search for the highest quality whey protein concentrate led to a dairy located in the heartland of America. The area this dairy is located in has one of the lowest levels of pollution in the country. The herd has never been given antibiotics and does not consume food containing pesticides. Immunotec Research packages Immunocal under the highest pharmaceutical standards. Dr. Jimmy Gutman, author of the GSH Handbook, tells us what glutathione does for the body.
Now, with all this research being done in glutathione, all these thousands of articles that are coming out, people still ask the question, why can't I just eat glutathione? In fact, you can't eat glutathione. What happens when you eat glutathione? It gets broken down in your digestive tract and it ends up being passed. The only way to raise glutathione in your body is to eat the building blocks for your body to manufacture glutathione. We call these building blocks precursors. All that Immunocal does is supply your body with the precursors to make glutathione. A person can, in the comfort of his own home, take a package of this product, mix it up, and ingest it. And once you eat the Immunocal, it enters your digestive tract. It's safely passed into your intestine. It's very easily absorbed. Once it's absorbed, it gets picked up in your bloodstream, and it is the building blocks of precursors that are traveling through your bloodstream. When these precursors get to your cells, there are certain amino acids that are released into the cell, and the cell itself starts to manufacture glutathione.
Dr. Bunos' breakthrough discovery of this immunostimulating powder led to the full development and eventual marketing of Immunocal by Immunotec Research. In 1996, attorney Alex Konigsberg introduced Dr. Bunos and Dieter Beer to Chuck Roberts, who owned Evergreen Products. They joined forces to bring Immunocal to market through direct sales. In a recent lecture, Dr. Alan Summersall, in his own inimitable way, drew attention to the importance of Dr. Bunos' discovery.
You know, after 20 years of being very concerned in the wellness industry, concerned about what the individual could do for their own self-protection. In fact, even after going through medical school and being involved in medical practice, I had never had this particular idea go through my mind of the individual cell protecting itself. See, each particular cell in the body is trying to protect itself for its own health. The cell on the face is protecting itself against an ultraviolet ray when you're sunbathing. A cell in the gut is protecting itself from a carcinogen that gets into the diet. Every cell in the body is protecting itself on a daily basis. And in order to do that, this cell has its own defensive mechanism. And that's where glutathione is so important. It's the cell's principal defensive molecule in its own defense. And what Dr. Bonas was able to do was to allow us to take an action step, to do something to enable the cell, to facilitate the cell being able to make more glutathione in its own protection. And by being able to do that, I think he has started a revolution.
John H. Molson tells us why healthy people and even athletes can expect better performance by using Immunocal.
Now, what we found with Immunocal is that it positively affects the immune system. In other words, it can reduce the incidence of upper respiratory illness in athletes. So what does that mean for the athlete? Well, typically athletes will get sick 2 to 3 to 4 times a year. And for a professional athlete, or for the owner of a professional team, that can mean lost dollars. So Immunocal can positively affect the team or the athlete by improving the athlete's immune system and thus less downtime. The second major criteria is recovery. We know for a fact that oxidative stress induces injuries to the muscle, thereby having muscle soreness after intense training. What Immunocal does is it ups the or increases the antioxidant quantity in the cell, thus regulating the injury induced by oxidative stress in the muscle. As a consequence, the professional athlete will be able to train more frequently